Answer me honestly. If I was to tell you that I love you and that I'd throw it all away to be with you, what would you say to me?
Good night, Polly.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Hello and welcome. Welcome and hello. This is Wait, You Haven't Seen? That's a show where we talk about movies, and specifically, we talk about a movie at least one of us has never seen before. I'm your host, Travis, a.k.a. TV's Travis. This is episode number 337, and our film this week is from 2000. It's Keeping the Faith, and here to talk with me about it because he had seen it, and he wanted me to watch it. It's Seth. Seth, how you doing?
How's it going, bud? I can't believe you haven't seen this amazing show.
So we're going to get to how I didn't see it.
Movie, not show.
Show, movie. I've heard it.
Movie is all the same. Yeah.
Heard it both ways. I want to know your history with this movie first, because you brought it to me as the one that you thought we should do. So what's your history with Keeping the Faith?
I originally saw it in the movie theater, and I loved it. So I bought the VHS of it.
Ooh.
And I wore through that VHS that I had to buy the DVD.
Nice.
I mean, there's just so many good one-liners in there, like "Amen to your oi." Or, I use that to this day, and my wife looks at me. She's like, "That's from Keeping the Faith, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yes." And she's like, "Please stop." Yeah.
We all have those
then,
movies that we do that with.
Dong in the karaoke store.
Mhm.
With, Edward Norton being the priest. Oh God, classic.
So this was one, I remember this coming out. I remember seeing ads for it. This would have been 2000, so it would have been off the heels of Fight Club, which I loved, and I had seen, and Edward Norton. So I knew who Edward Norton was. I knew who Ben Stiller was. Dharma and Greg was in the middle of its run at this point, so Jenna Elfman was very well known.
Where is she now?
She's still acting. She's still doing stuff. Just her career never went to the superstar status that I think people assumed that it would.
Yeah.
But this was a movie that just, at the time, I saw it and I was like, romantic comedy, I don't really care. And so I didn't seek it out.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, it just kind of went out of sight, out of mind. I didn't ever think about it again. And every once in a while, I'd be looking at, Norton or Stiller's IMDb, or this movie might come up in a conversation about either romantic comedies or about the actors in it. And
absolutely,
I would think about it then and then just sort of forget again. And so when you mentioned, hey, we should watch this, I was like, oh, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, okay, we'll check that out. And I'm going to say, watched it the first time, loved it. It was a lot of fun.
It's a fun rom-com. It's not exactly. It's very Ben Stiller-like because it's not. It's like something about Mary, kind of that kind of Ben Stiller kind of show movie. Like you want to call them shows, where it's not as cookie cutter as what we have nowadays. So
yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And I think had I seen it in 2000, either in theaters or get it on home video shortly thereafter, I think this would have been one I would have liked, but it wouldn't have blown the doors off or anything like that, and it wouldn't have been that memorable for me at the time. And a lot of that is because of who I was then as a film watcher and just a person. I don't think I would have appreciated it. And one of the things, when I got done watching it, and we're going to talk about the cast and the movie itself, but one of the things when I got done watching it that I kept thinking about was a couple of years ago, I saw Moonstruck for the first time.
Good movie.
And I really, really enjoyed that movie. And I got the same kind of feeling watching this that I got with Moonstruck, which is like, man, had I seen that when I was younger, I'd have liked it, but I wouldn't have appreciated it. And I appreciate and like it much more now because it's the idea that I didn't like romantic comedies. No, I just saw some bad ones and it kind of turned me off to them. And I talk about this a lot with musicals, was the same way. I got forced into a lot of musicals when I was younger that I didn't like. And so I thought, oh, I don't like musicals. Well, it turns out, no, I do.
You just didn't like the musicals you saw.
Yeah. And sort of the same way with romantic comedies. It's not that I don't like romantic comedies. It's that the you've got mail Sleepless in
yeah.
Seattle ones didn't resonate with me at all. And but this one did. And I think a lot of that is this cast is incredible. So Edward Norton, I love Edward Norton.
Yes. Very versatile. Very versatile.
Very. Now, I've heard that he can be difficult to work with at times, but I think that comes from being just very particular about his craft. He seems like that kind of person because he can clearly have fun in a role. But I do
the blooper reels on YouTube that I was watching before we got on are hilarious. He's clearly having a good time. I mean, how can you not have a good time with Ben Stiller?
Right, exactly. And this was Norton, so he had done Primal Fear, American History X, and Fight Club prior to this. And then this. Which is a very different type of movie for sure.
A palate cleanser almost.
Yeah. But I like him. He's got very good timing. He can play the straight man in a straight man, funny man kind of comedy thing. He's not going to be the goofball necessarily.
No, he's not going to be the Ben Stiller to the Ben Stiller.
Right. But he's really good. And he brings a very good emotional gravitas to things as well. Which Ben Stiller, I think, also is very capable of, and I think he's underrated in his dramatic acting.
Yeah, didn't he do Severance? That was his.
Yes.
I was like he could. I'm like, it wasn't my cup of tea that I didn't really like Severance that much. It wasn't my thing. Wife loved it, and she's like, I can't believe this is Ben Stiller because everyone thinks Ben Stiller, like his father Jerry Stiller.
Yep.
Funny men.
Yeah. Well,
Severance wasn't very funny. I mean, it had its moments.
Yeah. Well, and what's also really interesting about this movie in particular is Edward Norton directed this. And
I did not know that.
This was his first film he directed. He didn't direct another major film for 19 years. He did one in 2019 called Motherless Brooklyn that I have not seen yet, but I remember seeing a trailer for, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool. It looked interesting.
Hey, someone challenged Travis to watch that next.
Yeah, that's the next one. But he directed this, and he had been acting, and I know that getting behind the camera, that's one of the things with The Incredible Hulk, right, that he did with the MCU, was that he was throwing his weight around a little bit, and he co-wrote that, and he really wanted to do more with that. And I think some of that got started here. Like, he had worked with some good directors prior to this movie.
Oh, gotcha.
And with Fincher and Milos Forman and all of them, and so then he gets to direct this. And I do wonder if directing a movie was something that he wanted to do, and then he did it and thought, I don't know if I want to do this now necessarily, because he didn't do it for almost 20 years.
He directed and acted.
Yeah.
He directed it. It's different when you direct. Not that I know anything about this, but I assume it's different when you just direct. You're not also acting.
Yeah.
But when you're directing and acting, I'm like, that's a lot of work.
It really is. Now, it helps when you surround yourself with people that really know what they're doing. Yeah. And Ben Stiller, also a director. He had been directing for years prior to this movie, which probably helped Norton. I have to assume that. And I mentioned Jenna Elfman. Jenna Elfman was really popular at this time. Dharma and Greg was like a top 20, network television show at this point. This was right at the cusp where it started to fail because it ended up. I was reading about it. The show ended up moving time slots, or it went up against Frasier, and Frasier, and that kind of killed it. Oh, that was the other thing. It had been the lead-in to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, that killed everything.
And then Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, its ratings started to go down, so the lead-in shows also went down because nobody was coming around for that. So, and she's kept working.
The more you know, yeah, exactly. But it also ran for a while, wasn't it? Like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, it was about 5 seasons.
That's a good run. Not like Grey's Anatomy, that's like a one episode season. I can't speak. Season like 23. I mean, come on now.
Oh yeah. Well,
like five is a good run.
119 episodes, nothing wrong with that.
Not like The Simpsons, which is what the hell Simpsons is.
Oh, I know. The Simpsons is the show that will never go away.
Knock wood. Hopefully, never does.
But she's still working. I mean, she just did a series called Dark Winds this year, 8 episodes on that. So she's kept working. She also this I thought was really cool. So Jenna Elfman, for me, for a long time, occupied the same mental space as Téa Leoni.
Oh,
They aren't the same person, but
both
I could,
adorable.
yeah, and I could easily interchange the two. So it would be one of those things where I'm like, was that Elfman or Leoni? I can't remember. And it's sort of like
both kind of tall,
yeah,
blonde,
and that
cute.
happens. You know,
Really
you get it
smart.
with
really smart character.
yeah. I would do it with who was it? They're like you get that every once in a while, just actors that
They meld.
yeah. So, but interestingly, so Téa Leoni was married to David Duchovny for a while. I remember that. That's how I'm able to separate the two. Jenna Elfman is married to Bodhi Elfman, and Bodhi Elfman is he's actor and he's done some directing. He's popped up in a lot of things, especially in this era, smaller roles in things like Enemy of the State and these little movies. But he's in this.
He is?
He is Casanova, the guy on the 23rd floor across the way from her. And when I was watching it, I didn't notice him at first, and it was that final scene with Ben Stiller in the office. And I'm like, wait a minute, that looks like Bodhi Elfman. And sure enough, it is. They have been married since 1995.
Hence the name Elfman. That's not incestuous. It's actually they're married.
Yeah, that's her married name. And
married name.
he is the nephew of Danny Elfman.
Oh, wow. I was
So-
wondering about that. I was wondering with the Elfman, because every time I hear Danny Elfman, I'm like, wait, because we're of that generation of Dharma and Greg.
Yep.
And keeping the faith. And so the word Elfman's in our head.
Yeah.
In our lexicon. And we're like, to hear Danny Elfman, I'm like, wait. And then of course, I walk away.
Mhm.
And, because Scott and Brian on TMS are always saying, Danny Elfman this, Danny Elfman that, and I'm always like, I got to look that up. I walk away and forget. So
That's how it goes.
old age.
But this movie hinges on those three, right? Those are the pillars of this movie. And all of them
characters,
are phenomenal. They're so good throughout.
And they play off each other, too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, chemistry is brought up in the movie, like in context, but also the chemistry of the actors is really good because
they had fun. And I think I remember watching it at, Entertainment Tonight or extra.
Yep.
Had to do that. And they were on Extra, I think it was what it was, and they're saying like they had so much fun with this movie. It was just fun.
Yeah.
I'm telling you about the bloopers. Go watch the bloopers after you watch our stream here. They are
absolutely.
clearly having a goofy time.
And that comes through in the final product because
Yes.
when everything happens throughout the movie, it's believable. All of it is believable, these friendships and everything. If you're having fun on set, that comes through in your final product. And
Absolutely.
I really, really enjoyed that. And then you got those three, and then we surround them with amazing character actors for all these secondary characters. So Father...
Like Dong.
Yes. Ken Lung as Don. I love him. I love him so much. And his scene kills me because, number one, Jesse's Girl is the song he's singing is perfectly on the nose. It's so wonderful at that moment. But for him to be playing up this character and then all of a sudden drop the facade and be like, all right, let me be real with you guys. I lost it. I had to pause the movie at that point because I was just like, that's a great moment where he just drops the cheeseball accent.
Or if that was sort of, it's things like that. I always wonder if that's like kind of ad-libbed because it's kind of,
I wonder.
Too good.
Yeah.
To be.
I feel like I feel like the character is written into the script, but the actor brings that and maybe suggested it, and they're like, "Well, let's try it out," and it works, and so they run with it. Is kind of what I feel like with that. And he slays it. That whole scene is perfectly done.
I'm still laughing hysterically from it, and
yeah. But you also had Eli Wallach as Rabbi Ben. I love Eli Wallach. I love him so much, and he's great in this. All these characters have just little moments to have, but Eli Wallach, Anne Bancroft as Ben Stiller's mom.
Yes.
She's wonderful in this.
Even the 13-year-old boy with the cracking voice.
Yes. Oh.
Like that one, because being I'm Jewish, so I remember that age getting bar mitzvah and being like like completely off tune.
That
I'm
scene,
still off tune, but that was like awesome in the study.
That was another one of those scenes that just killed me. And I definitely captured a clip of that I will play in a little while because it was brilliantly done, and it was so much fun. And we had Ron Rifkin showing up as Larry for a little bit, and like it's these actors that
they got the bartender when they're on the bender.
Brian George.
He's
I love him.
Punjabi Muslim with Jewish what did you get that clip?
I did. I definitely got that.
That one you have to play that one. That one's awesome.
So my first couple of notes watching the movie. Number one, we started off with a Tom Waits song. So you had me at hello. Like you hooked me with Tom Waits. Love that. We're getting all these shots, and then we go into the bar, and the clip I played at the beginning of the episode where he's talking to the girl and she's just like, "Good night, Paul." "Good night, Paulie," and leaves. And then we cut over and it's Brian George, and I love him. He's one of those actors that always plays this type of a role somewhere.
He's a character actor, right?
And
he has like his typecast for a reason, and he's good at it.
Yes, and he has fun with it. And he just seeing him put a smile on my face. So we've had Tom Waits music, and then Brian George shows up, and I'm like, I'm in. You've got me. Let's go.
Yes.
And he was just, I love the like, I don't want to talk about it. I know you're very busy. And then we cut to just the bar is empty. And he's like, hang on, and pulls up a stool and sits down with him. And I didn't realize most of the movie was going to be done like in this flashback kind of framing device, but it worked. It was really good. And they didn't overdo the voiceover. They used it to start, and then we just got into it. And I loved it from that point on, just everything. And like taking the idea of the love triangle is a classic trope.
Yes. Then a priest and a rabbi.
Yep.
To it.
Adding that, we're adding a trope onto a trope, but also it gives us layers of what's going on. And so what ends up happening is the love triangle is important, but it isn't the only important thing going on. What's really the story is the story of Jake and Brian and Anna, but not in a love triangle so much as figuring themselves out.
Learning who they are.
Yeah.
It's less of a rom-com. It's more like a coming-of-age story.
It really is. It honestly is, because like Jake especially, Ben Stiller's character, is a rabbi, and he's trying to become, he wants to be the main rabbi of his synagogue. But there's a lot of stuff going on there, and I love the whole start of the movie where like he's getting set up on dates. It's great.
They find like the most stereotypical, but like so true, Jewish girls that set him up with, and I'm like, oh my God.
And that's,
being a Jewish guy and being set up, even not being a rabbi, but like, oh my God, like seriously, like it happens.
So that was going to be a question I was going to have is, did you relate to that?
Oh my God. That's why I love the movie so much, was because it was so relatable. And my friend, and actually it was me and my two best friends from high school. It was me being Jewish, my best friend Marcel, who was Catholic, and then we had Christina, who was whatever. But we were inseparable for a bunch of years. We all lost contact recently. But like, that's why this movie resonated so much, was because it was a Jew, a Catholic, and a gal.
Yeah, no, that was great.
I love it.
Okay, well, that's cool. I'm glad that like it felt real to you, because I am not Jewish. I wasn't raised Catholic either.
I burned through the VHS, for crying out loud. Literally melted the tape.
And I know I've seen the clip of him punching her in the stomach from the trailer, but it still cracked me up. Just that whole moment, because that was just the perfect amount of buildup, and then out of nowhere, he just gives her the left hook to the gut, and she goes down, and then just the hand comes up. Go get my coat. And that whole date, oof, boy, that date was rough, because I was like, ooh, red flag after red flag. The way she treats the homeless guy and all that, and you can see he's a rabbi, and you're doing this in front of him, and he's just like dying a million deaths.
Oh, a bunch of paper cuts.
But she was great. I also like how Brian is, both Jake and Brian are very secure in who they are and what they're doing and why they're doing it. There's no, like, Brian does go through his crisis of faith in the telling of the story.
Yeah, but he wanted to be a priest, and he wanted to be a priest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and
instead of Jake wanted to be a rabbi. Like, he knew that they're not even talking about that. Like, they knew what they were going to be.
yeah, and that's what makes, like, Brian going through what he did mean more, because he definitely knows what he wants to do, and now he's questioning it. But there's a line I captured, I'll play in a little bit, that really hammered that home. The way he's doubting things, and then when he talks to the other father, Father Havel, by the way, played by Milos Forman,
Is that who that was?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
And he had been he had directed The People versus Larry Flint, and Edward Norton was in that.
Yeah.
And so I think kind of a returning the favor sort of thing, or like, hey, do you want to come act in my movie? And he's only got a couple scenes, but it's a very poignant one. And
they're memorable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so good. But like our whole beginning part where they're kids, the one conceit of this movie, I will say, is I had two nitpicks. I liked it.
Okay.
I very much liked it. My two nitpicks are, it is almost 2 hours and 10 minutes long. And
long,
for a romantic comedy, that is a long movie. Now, it's paced really well. I have to, for a first-time director, I have to give him credit for pacing it really well, and it's a very good script. But you probably could have shaved a few minutes here or there and maybe get it down closer to 2 hours or just under that without too much trouble. I'm not sure what you would cut.
That's my point. I'm thinking about that, because then there's that, them crossing the crosswalk scene, and I forget who was that. It was Ben Stiller. It was Jake. It's like, no one ever stops, no one ever waits. Just go.
So
and it's New York. It's like, you don't wait for let's change. You're gonna get hit.
So yeah, that nitpick, and then my other only real nitpick, and it's very minor, is they meet. The three of them meet in like 8th grade, so they're like 13-ish, and they're inseparable for like a year. But then she moves, and she's gone, and then they basically have what amounts to no contact for 16 years, and then to come back and just be as close as they were. That feels very, I wrote a script type of story,
Yeah. A little cliche.
A little bit, yeah. So it's a nitpick. It's a conceit I'm willing to make for the movie because, again, the chemistry of the actors and the performances work, so they pull it off. But it's very much one of those, I'm like, I just sort of, I was like, that's going to stick in my craw a little bit. No big deal. We'll move on.
Exactly, yeah.
I also, like, a few notes I had, Norton does acting drunk really well.
Oh, he's so good at that.
And that is not easy to do. It's not easy to
hopefully
pretend
not be
to
drunk at the time.
Right. I mean, it's one thing to method act that and just get drunk, but that doesn't work.
Not when you're directing the damn thing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? No, let's get a cut. No.
And it's one of my favorite. I love a movie that does a New York moment. And that's right at the beginning when he stumbles and falls into the trash. And then he puts his hand out and the guy walks over and just hands him a sandwich and walks away. That is the equivalent in this movie of the moment in Ghostbusters when Louis Tully slams against the window and everybody stops and looks, and then as soon as he's out of frame, they just go back to eating. It's that type of moment. I love those.
It's so New York, yeah.
Yeah, it's because it's such a cliched New York thing, but yet you also know it happens.
It happens all the time. Oh, it's like all the cliches about New York in this movie are real life cliches. Like they happen in real life. Like this happens all the time.
I loved the montage of stuff with their church/synagogue as they're becoming the God Squad.
The God Squad, yeah.
Because this idea of these young, good-looking, like rock star priest and rock star rabbi, the shot of them in the leather jackets and sunglasses walking down the street, just like the two coolest guys ever. Love
and they're
that.
priest and rabbi.
Yeah,
and it's like it can't be lost in you that it's like, really?
It's it's like the perfect amount of self-awareness and also like cliche. I liked all of that, and how they start off after seminary, and like the churches are almost empty, and Stiller's up there doing stand-up comedy for his sermons, basically.
Yeah.
It was great. It was a really well done thing. If anything was going to get trimmed for the runtime, it would have been this early stuff to move us into our story, but that's a double-edged sword.
It's almost too good to do that, though. It's like kind of like you kind of want it, but you're kind of like, if you had to trim, you could trim there.
Yes, that would be where you could trim it, but at the same time, the more we do of that, the more we care about these characters. So when the conflict does happen, it actually means something. When Edward Norton has his speech moment, it means something to us.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of one of those things. But I love how the story builds. So they're great friends, and then she comes back, and she's this like career woman, and immediately I clocked. Before, and I didn't know. I knew there would be some kind of a love triangle because I just knew it.
Tropey. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't know where it was going to be exactly or how it was going to play out. But immediately I was like, okay, so Jake loves her. Jake's smitten with her. And I couldn't read her for a long time. I couldn't tell if, and I actually had some notes. I'm like, ooh, maybe her secret classes are she's also seeing Brian, but not saying anything about it. But then things evolve with the story, and I'm like, okay, nope, that's not happening because we would have gotten something by now. And then you see like the infatuation growing with Brian as well.
And you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. So, and then I'm like, okay, all right, when is this shoe going to drop? And then we start layering, and this is where the layering comes in, right? Because now we layer in the fact that, Jake is a rabbi. He keeps getting set up because his congregation wants him to settle down with a nice Jewish girl and get married. There aren't, what was it he said? Like there hasn't been a single, like a bachelor main rabbi.
Oh, at that synagogue.
Yeah,
like
for
how
like
many
generations or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is very different from what Brian's going through, where it's like he had to take the vows and he can't get married.
You don't get to have that.
So that's a nice dichotomy going on, and then he's got his infatuation with Anna, who is not Jewish. And
they're sneaking around and all that stuff.
Yeah, and then they smartly layer in the stuff with his brother and mother, with Jake's brother Ethan and his mom. And this is how you write and show that kind of stuff. We don't need this big long exposition dump. It can just come through. Yeah. They slide it into a conversation, and then it's like, well, wait, what's going on there? And we'll give you a little bit. Oh yeah, this happened, and here we go. I loved that because that,
and then there's baggage, and you know why there's baggage, and you know why it's so taboo per se, because of the family dynamic, and it's like, wow, it's a very deep rom-com.
It is. It's more than a surface level thing going on, and it makes what it does is it makes this feel like a real set of relationships and real people, as opposed to characters on a screen. Yes, there is we haven't seen each other for 16 years, but we're still the best of friends. That feels character written, but the relationships, the way they all play out, doesn't. Like the fact that Ruth still loves Anna and loves having her around, and like they get along well, and Brian coming over for dinner, and just all the kind of stuff. Like these feel like people that have really grown up together and gotten along, and I love that. And just the way like all of it played out was fantastic. And then for the way the conflict builds, because them sneaking around, and my note was like, just tell Brian. Just tell him, because if anyone's going to understand, it would be him. And then right after that,
says that, like, if you had just told me, told me you weren't cool with it.
Well, I love what he says is like, if you had told me, I would have been mad, but I've gotten over it quicker because he wouldn't have been lied to. And my note was like, just tell Brian because he'll understand, but then we wouldn't have a movie. So
well, that's one place you could cut.
Yeah.
And that would have been a much shorter movie. It'd been like an hour.
Well, if you cut that, if they tell him initially, then what you do is the story becomes he knows that they're together, but now he's pining for her and he's trying to figure it out. And I think in the end, it works better to have it be the way that it is because the conflict is minor at that point. He's upset that they didn't tell him, but he is upset that they didn't tell him, and that fed into his own sort of doubting of what was going on because his feelings were growing and he didn't know about them. And he couldn't see it because of his feelings.
He could have been happy for them and enjoyed their relationship more had he known and not made a fool of himself.
Right. Because let's face it, Ben Stiller and Norton's characters are kind of fools, and it's the women around them that pick up on it. Like Debbie, Anna's assistant, immediately clocks that, this is getting serious. And even Anna's like, no, it's not. Debbie knows. And then Ruth later on knew and confronted her about it. And I love that. Like that
was a touching scene where they're crying, and then he walks in and they're sobbing. He's like, what the heck? What?
Oh, man. I can only imagine what that. And so this movie.
And I can feel that. Like I feel like the tightness in my chest. Like, oh, the truth came out.
So this movie did something for me that doesn't happen very often, and I really appreciated it.
Okay.
I tend to get secondary embarrassment for characters when I'm watching something. And it's just it's a product of being an empathic person. I get empathy a lot.
Yeah. Oh God.
And so when I'm watching something and something gets very awkward or somebody gets very embarrassed,
antsy.
I feel that. This movie did that, but in a way that didn't make me want to stop watching it. It didn't feel. I felt the awkwardness, I felt the weirdness, but I never got uncomfortable with it.
It was mostly almost like what is it, like 5.1 surround sound? Now it's like it's like 4D now because you have that. It's a little extra emotion to it.
And I think it's because on the whole, everyone felt like they did. All these characters really liked each other, and yes, we had we didn't communicate silly trope to create the conflict, but it didn't become this. The big blow off of it was Brian and Jake arguing in the synagogue, Brian hitting him and walking out, and he was drunk, and it never went beyond that. That was as bad as it got because in the end they're just friends and they're going to remain friends.
And they're honestly, it was almost like a dude moment. Like
it was.
The dudes punch each other and then they're over it. They're like, we're done. All right. It's in the past.
Yeah, it's brothers. They're essentially brothers. They had their spat.
And they're over it. Let's move along. Yeah. Because
neither one of them blames the other for what's going on. No. I think that's the other thing to it too, is because they're so secure in who they are for the most part. Like Brian is secure in the fact that he wants to be a priest, but he's doubting things.
Some details surrounding that, yeah.
Yeah. But his conviction of that is strong enough that he is able to see past the immediate and be like, no, I get what's happening here and I can move beyond that. And Jake is the same way. And that's I think what I like about it is these are characters I like.
Mm-hmm. And they continue to like them.
Yeah. Yes. And they can have that conflict. And the fact that had it played out the way I kept thinking it was, which was like Anna playing sort of both halves against the middle and somehow sneaking around with Brian, but not telling Jake, and we're sort of following that. Had that played out that way, I don't think I would have liked it because it would have made her
the enemy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it would have taken so much away from what she was. Because that's the other part of it is Anna's character. It's her coming of age story too. And I love, again, the scene with her and Ruth on the couch and the way she frames that where, you spend time going after what you think is what you want. And then you find out 15 years later, maybe you went after the wrong things.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then they both turn, and Ben Stiller, Jake walks in. They both turn, and he's like, "What the heck?"
Exactly. So it's a really well done set of three characters that are close, have a conflict,
Yeah.
but are able to get beyond that conflict because of their closeness while they're figuring out who they are.
Absolutely.
I just loved all of that so much. And they have a great support system around them. Ruth honestly is she's the stereotypical mom.
Yeah. Do you say stereotypical Jewish mom? Yeah, she was, because I'll say it because she reminded me of my mom.
Okay.
So yeah, stereotypical Jewish mom. Yeah.
You can't have a Jewish mom in a movie without a scene where she's feeding everyone too. Like that is a requirement. If you
so true. That or an Italian mom, one or two.
If you have an Italian or a Jewish mother in a movie, they will be feeding people. If you have a bag of groceries in a movie, there will be a baguette and celery sticking out of the top of that paper bag. These are rules that come out with movies. But she plays it so well, and I love the scene. And then, but like just everything with that, the Rabbi Ben and Father Havel are great sort of mentor characters that get their moments to shine with like little nuggets of.
They don't overdo it either.
That right there, that is the big one.
Everything's like dosed, for lack of a better term, dosed properly.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like they made it. There's the three main characters, and everyone else has their shining moment. But it's enough of each one, like enough of Ruth, you know.
Yeah, they never take away.
I could use a little bit more of Dong, though.
Well, yes, but he's so much fun. I did like him coming back at the very end when they do open their
almost
center.
Almost like an encore.
Yeah,
everyone comes out and takes a bow. Everyone comes to the party.
And there are side stories that they could have made an entire movie around. I mean, them creating the joint Catholic Jewish center thing that they did out of that could have been a movie unto itself. Or
oh my God, could you imagine the fun that'd be a fun movie? They should make that.
Hey, you know, there's that one.
Happened a lot longer than this.
Yeah. Everything that went on with Jake and Larry, the Ron Rifkin character, like that whole subplot could have been its own movie with him falling for a Catholic woman, and then the whole idea that like the rabbi can't marry a Catholic girl type of thing. Yeah. That's its own story that it could have been an entire movie.
A lot of spin-offs.
Yeah, so like
there weren't.
It's really, really well done. Now I did capture audio, and I got to play some of these because there's some good stuff here. So we're going to start with some Jake quotes, some Jake moments.
Let's do it.
Because Ben Stiller was good. I love them waiting at the airport, and they've got the sign for Anna Banana. And there was just something to this response felt very much like I got to get rid of the nervous energy.
For the record, it's Leif, long A. Did you see the behind the music?
Leif. And I did see the behind the music, so I did know it was Leif. So that was good. I firmly believe this was a Ben Stiller ad-lib line. When he's talking about getting set up on dates and the mothers, all the mothers in his synagogue setting him up with their daughters.
They're very intimidating. They're like the kosher Nostra.
The kosher Nostra.
Nostra, yeah.
That killed me. That was very, very good.
That sounds like a Stiller ad lib. Yeah.
It absolutely does.
And then them having to go cut and like crack up laughing and lose it and like, oh my God. The cutting room floor. Remember, this is 2000, so this is before digital.
Yep.
It might be right around digital editing. So they were literally had to go in there and like cut it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I like this moment. This was just a fun moment because they just kind of slide it in there, and I didn't expect this from a movie 25 years old, this is during one of his sermons. I think this is in kind of that montage moment, and he's trying to get the congregation really going. And it was just this.
Telling the Lord how much we love him or her.
It was that or her was great for me.
That was very forward thinking.
It was.
For 2000, because that really didn't come to head to like the 08, 2010, where you were very much like, God could be a woman. God is, and for full disclosure, God is a woman, or are they? Because the whole world would have been blown up by now if it was a bunch of dudes.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I liked that because it's also a very easy and good kind of shorthand moment to show that these two are not only deeply in their faith, but also progressive and trying to appeal to the young and old and really get everybody involved. And I kind of like that.
I honestly wish Ben Stiller was my rabbi. I'd probably still go to temple if he was my rabbi.
We mentioned the kid trying to practice his song for his bar mitzvah, but this got me.
Hashem, you think you can scare me with a little biblical Hebrew just because my balls haven't dropped yet? I'm serious.
He says that, and Ron Rifkin's, is it Rifkin or was it Eli Wallach? I think it was Rabbi Ben. Overhears this, and just the little giggle that he does. This like he hears that and he just has to laugh because like it's so well done and it breaks the tension with the kid. The kid, and
it's genuine too. I feel like that was literally he actually laughed.
Yeah, and that
might have been a Stiller ad lib.
Probably
because not knowing that's coming, you're gonna laugh. With Stiller, you're gonna be just like.
And again, it's a great moment showing that he understands how to relate to and talk to people.
Absolutely.
So I love that. When Jake and Anna are hanging out with Ruth for the first time, and he's telling stories of his terrible dates to his mom, because his mom's asking about the most recent date he went on, and it's not the date with the one.
Oh, what's her face?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. With the punch you in the stomach one.
Yeah. It's not that date, Lisa Edelstan's character.
Yeah.
It's a different one, but this made me laugh. This had to have been another Ben Stiller idea, I feel like.
Oh my God, are there nuts in this?
So what?
Mom, it was pecan pie.
It was pecan pie. Oh, killed me. Because I thought when that story started, I thought he was going to be talking about his date with the Lisa Edelson character. And nope, this was a different one completely. Like,
who had a nut allergy.
Nut allergy. And
just served pecan pie. It's like,
I will use this whenever I'm testing a microphone.
Test. Sibilance. I'm the king of rock.
And I didn't know if that's where this came from or not. I'm not sure, but I've definitely, when I'm testing a microphone, sibilance is a word that I will use. So
that's funny. That's awesome.
Not sure if it was used before this movie or in something else, but it definitely that caught my attention.
It could have been a callback because a little hat tip to something earlier.
Yeah, it could be. The Jewish Catholic Center, which I originally thought was going to be much more of the plot of this, and it really wasn't. But I like where after they have their little blow up moment and then they kind of get back together, that being Jake and Brian, they're back working on that.
Yeah, they don't skip it. They almost don't skip a beat even. They're like, all right, we duked it out. We're cool. Let's go back to this.
Exactly. And then they're in there and Jake pulls out the cell phone, which, boy, did that timestamp this movie or what? That tiny little cell phone he had, that little flip phone.
Yeah, it was like, this movie's old.
Yeah.
It was like that, and I think there was a Twin Towers scene.
There probably was in one of the Skyline.
B-roll,
yeah.
And because it was the year before.
Yep.
And that's what dates Friends.
Yes.
With Friends overdid the Twin Towers. I was watching it recently. Friends really overdid the Twin Tower shots, so that was kind of hard to watch. But yeah.
But I just love him pulling out that little phone, and then I like this line.
Look, she put God in the speed dial. I called it. It was the Elvis Presley Museum.
The Elvis Presley Museum. That's a good one. That's funny. And I also got Ben Stiller. I love fake like stage laughs. If you've listened to this show much, you know that I will always capture like stage laughs. And this one isn't long, but I think it's after the Leif Garrett line. Oh, it was that little haha. So like,
you gotta keep that for like a soundboard.
Oh yeah, no, it's
or send it to Scott over frog pants.
Oh, he would. I bet he would love that.
Yeah,
I'll keep that forever. And then finally, the last Ben Stiller one is I love the callback to when he was first getting together with Anna and he would come to her office and he had to deal with T-Bone. Which, number one, I love T-Bone being on his name tag. It's phenomenal.
Mr. T-Bone.
Yes.
Mr. Bone.
But I liked how we had the scene early on where he's like, I'm going to be coming around a lot. Maybe you could just like remember my name so I can be like, hey, T-Bone. You can be like, hey, Jake. And guys having none of it. And then for that to get played again later on, like I had forgotten about that scene. And then all of a sudden when he comes back, T-Bone's not letting him in the building. So he has to go across the street and goes to Casanova's office. And then he calls over. And I just loved.
Am I on speakerphone?
Am I on speakerphone? Killed me. And the whole thing. And it's that end of The Graduate moment, right? Where where he gets her attention and it's the big gesture and it works. It shouldn't.
He also says, and I'm at Casanova's office. His name's whatever his name is. Like,
yeah.
He's a really good guy. Yeah.
I think it was like Harvey or something.
Yeah.
So Father Brian, Edward Norton, I got two of his little voiceovers from the very beginning where they're teenagers. And these two I just liked. This feels like a line that maybe wouldn't get written today. But it's a very apt description.
Anna used to call us two mix and a yid. She was going to make T-shirts.
I love that though. They would totally not fly nowadays.
No,
totally dates it, but like
it does. That and Ben Stiller's first date when he comments on her headband, and she says, "Who made the headband?" And I was like, "Ooh, that's not the way we would word that anymore." But
it's an old movie. It's 25 years old. It's hard to believe it's 25 years old.
I know.
It holds up a lot. I mean,
honestly,
it's not rough.
No. The worst it gets is that.
There's some like, that might not have landed today.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, like the T-shirt line, it's not a T-shirt you would want to wear today. Let's put it that way. Although in its context, it would have made a good T-shirt. But I also liked when he talks about going into being a priest and telling his mom that he wanted that.
She was so happy she cried. My dad just wanted to know if working for God came with dental.
Yeah, that seems like a practical question.
Sounds like a dad. It sounds like a dad statement. Like,
it really does.
It's like, what would your dad say? Yeah.
Here was a reference. I got this one. I totally did the whole Captain America. Oh, I understood that reference in this line.
We're going to be the Fugees here this morning. No Lauryn Hills.
We're going to be the Fugees. No Lauryn Hills. I got that one. I remember the Fugees and Lauryn Hill. So I wonder how well that would land today. Like if somebody was younger, if they would even understand what he was saying there.
No, that would have been two levels.
And I feel like that
would have been 2 levels.
Yeah, I feel like that's a really obscure reference. Because that was the cool thing is Brian referencing the Fugees. He referenced Seven at one point. Yeah. Talking about the 7 deadly sins. I love that. Come on, there was a really popular movie with Brad Pitt. You've got the Cliff's Notes. Like that was real good. This one is as much for Norton as it is for Jenna Elfman's reaction.
I love you too.
What?
Because he's confessing to her, and her reaction to it is just phenomenal. And then when he walks over to her minibar and just starts drinking after learning everything, I just loved.
No. I'm glad you saved it because it's definitely less weird for me now.
That's really funny. That is so well delivered as straight man comedy.
Yeah, straight man, exactly. Because you sit there and you feel bad for Brian because you're like, he just poured his guts out, and he's like, oh, and being the sympathetic people that we are all like, oh, that's painful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then for her to say like, well, we didn't say anything because we were worried, and he's like, yeah, no, this is so much better, thank you. Like the sarcasm in that, and I related to that moment because I've definitely been the Brian in that situation at some point.
Happens to the best of us. Yeah.
So he has that moment with her, and then when he's drunk the next day and he wanders into the synagogue and he starts to have his hash out with Jake, and I liked.
I mean, she's like your sister, Brian.
Yes, thank you for adding new depth to my confusion.
Yeah.
His sarcasm is so biting, and I absolutely loved it.
And it's so Edward Norton now. It
Very much is.
Yeah.
This was one, I mentioned this earlier, but this was so well written and well delivered.
I don't doubt myself because of you. I feel like the best version of myself around you, and that makes me doubt everything else.
That is so good because he is dying in that moment. Like he is, and he's spiraling, but he doesn't blame anyone but himself.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the character likable to me, is that he's taking accountability for what's going on. He's not saying she is the cause of him doubting anything.
Yeah.
He is saying, I am doubting what's going on around me because of how I feel, but that's not your fault. That's my fault. And I really, really liked that.
That was a good moment.
And then he gives the gut punch when he's leaving the apartment after that moment. So he said that already, which is, he's done the 1-2. I'm reeling from it. And then he says,
Tonight, I really didn't want to be one.
About being a priest.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's rough. Like, it's such a great moment for the character, but it's rough too.
You feel for them. Feel for them.
Absolutely. So those two are great. Anna is also great. She's got a few good moments. First of all, what an introduction to her. Because we've seen just the young version, and then she's getting off the plane, and I love where they're standing there like, is that her? I don't know. Could it be? And she just walks up, and it's come up, take the sunglasses off, and we just get a...
Hello, boys.
That is how you introduce a character right there.
It is. Again, it gets Jenna Elfman's kind of personality too.
Mhm.
It's like that's almost Dharma-like.
Yeah, it is very. There's a great energy to it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then...
No, I work harder than God. If he had hired me, he would have made the world by Thursday.
That's very good. That one definitely got me. This one also did, just because again, I love comedy that plays around with words. I think wordplay comedy is great because it works on many levels. And
So this is a rectory. Sounds like a dirty word. Rectory.
it does, doesn't it?
It does.
I've always thought that sounds a little naughty.
Dirty.
I'm gonna guess that this was written into the script just by the way that it's delivered, but it's delivered so well. And this is when they're in Central Park. It's Anna and Ben, and they're they're in Central Park on the bridge talking, and she is trying to understand his celibacy. And he's
not Ben. You mean Brian?
Or Brian, sorry.
Yeah.
And he is trying to explain kind of how it is for him. And I just love this exchange.
People can light up right in front of you and it doesn't even bother you.
I quit smoking 2 years ago. When people smoke in front of me, I want to French kiss them just to suck the smoke out of their lungs, okay?
Because I smoked for a while and I quit. And in the first year, I can see where she's coming from on that. But he's right. Eventually you do get over that. But that was so well delivered. And just the look on Brian's face in that moment is great.
A parallel.
But she can be funny like that and then turn around, and this exchange with her and Jake, when Jake is essentially breaking up with her, when everything's falling apart, because this is post-dinner back at her apartment.
Look at your life. I don't think there's room in it for what I've spiritually committed to.
That is so unfair.
She does so much with just those few words in that moment. And I did truncate that clip a little bit. It's a slightly longer pause between what he says and her reaction. But it's so, again, just these emotional gut punches that the movie kept throwing at me without it being heavy-handed.
Yeah.
Which is a delicate
And then later on, you realize why. She's like, are you kidding me? I'm converting for you.
Right.
Like, don't break up with me. Like, come on now.
Well, and that does give us this amazing moment, because this is super funny, but also heartbreaking.
You think you're sorry? Now wait till you realize I just went out that door and I'm not coming back. This is my apartment. You get out.
That's very tropey. That is extremely tropey because it happens in so many different TV shows.
It
where they
does,
walk out of their own apartment.
and I loved it because the way Norton shot it, where it's all framed on him. It's all framed on Jake, and she walks out, and the door closes, and he's just sitting there, and then he has the realization, like, wait a second, this is her apartment, and then the door opens up. Hold on, this is my apartment, and we never change the framing either. It stays on him. I think that was actually really well done because it would have.
Yes.
I feel like a young director or an inexperienced director wants to overcover a scene like that and shoot too many different angles. It works so much better if you keep it as one shot.
Mm-hmm.
So I very much liked that. And then finally, there's this one.
I am in love with you, Jake.
Yeah, I love you too.
Again, such good acting in that moment from her.
Yeah.
Because they're saying two different things using the same words, and I love that. You mentioned this one. I got a few more clips. This one is a good one. I'm going to start using it.
Oh, can I just say,
Amen to your oi.
Amen to your oi.
I use it all the time, and I give you permission to use it.
Thank you, because I want to adopt that into my lexicon. It was so well done. That whole scene was great because I like them just like hanging out, and one of their forms of hanging out is going to shoot some hoops. And in New York City, that makes sense.
And they're getting older.
Yep.
And they're not getting younger, and that plays into the whole romantic trope of like, Jake's gotta find a wife so he can move on with his life, get promoted, and all that stuff. And you're seeing that, and they're like, and their bodies are breaking down. They're like, oy, oy, oy.
Yep. Oh, and it's so good when the young guys come up and they decide to play some hoops and they just get the brakes beat off them. Like those other dudes just own them. That was funny to me. So I got some Eli Wallach. I love Eli Wallach. He's great.
Mm-hmm. He's awesome.
And let's see. Oh no! First, sorry. Before we get to Eli Wallach, Brian George, bartender. Oh, Brian George, and first one of his first lines.
Come on, a priest and a rabbi. I think I've heard this one.
Now look,
a priest and a rabbi. That's great. Followed by, and then we get the whole story. So we're an hour and a half in, and we come back to the bar, and they're both schnockered by now. They're just
absolutely.
They're they're a full bottle in, and
And our other grandmother was an Irish nun who left me this bar, which is a very long story.
I want that story. That
could be a movie in its own right.
I want Paulie's story because holy crap, it sounds great. And so then you mentioned this one, and it was such a good line because it's just Norton coming back with,
You're a Sikh, Catholic, Muslim with Jewish in-laws?
Yes. Yes. It gets very complicated.
Oh. And then they use one of my favorite, like, I think it's an Irish, it's not really a proverb. It's like an Irish curse almost.
Yeah.
And it's one that I have used for many, many years. I absolutely love it. And the delivery of it is great. So this is a little bit longer of a clip, but it's worth it to listen to because it's one of my favorite toasts.
May those who love us, love us. And those who don't love us, may God turn their hearts. And if he cannot turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles so that we may know them by their limping.
It's so good. And it's one of my favorite toasts.
Delivered, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's just expertly delivered. Brian George.
Oh, he's brilliant.
It's hard for me to say he's my favorite thing in the movie because there's so many things I liked in this movie, but he is in that top 5 of just like
he is definitely
because he just puts a smile on my face, kind of like Eli Wallach did. Eli Wallach had some good lines. There was this one.
Tradition is not old habit. All right, it's comforting to people.
That's both
matter of fact.
Yeah. And it's kind of a yes and no. Tradition is old habit, but it is comforting for people. However, Jake wants to refresh that a little bit. And update the traditions. And I think that traditions should evolve over time. They all do.
Absolutely. They do.
We don't think about that because we see the end result. We don't think about how we got to that point and how it changed over time. This, I think, is Eli Wallach as well.
How upset are they?
Let's just say they're less than thrilled.
To be honest, we're less than thrilled.
Classic bit of writing, and it never fails to just tickle me when you do that. You set the line up, and then you just repeat it, and it's great. It's classic for a reason.
It works. It just works. You're like, how does that work? It's like so simple, but it's like, okay.
But okay, so Rabbi Ben says, tradition, it makes people comfortable. And then he also comes back with this, which I loved this.
You'll find that people will go a lot farther if they feel they're being led and not pushed.
People will go a lot farther if they feel they're being led and not pushed. I like that a lot because it's sort of the get more flies with honey, but I think a better version of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because there's a difference between being a leader and being a boss, and leaders.
Some truth there, yeah.
Yeah, like leaders get things done and bring everyone along with them. A boss just pushes everybody to do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
We need more leaders and less bosses. And one more from old Eli Wallach, and this is something I say a lot.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice. I say that to the dog all the time because she gives me the side eye all the time.
Oh, they do.
She is a sassy little thing. She's sleeping right now, but
yeah. Like, Dad, stop talking about me.
And Milos Forman only has a couple of scenes in here, but he had another one. So just like so Rabbi Ben has the people will go further if they're feeling like they're led and not pushed, and then Father Havel has this line, and I love this too.
The truth is, you can never tell yourself that there is only one thing you could be.
There is never only one thing that you can be. And I really, really liked that. It's the trope of the older priest and his wisdom. Yeah. But you get some wisdom over time. And that scene goes on where he talks about he's been a priest for, was it 40 years, 50 years?
Yeah.
And that he falls in love once a decade.
I like that, yeah. I also like how the Jewish side of things is chaotic, and the older rabbi and Jake are like, it's chaotic. It's kinetic almost, and then the priests are very very low keying it. I can't speak for the Catholic side, but the Jewish side was spot on. Everything's chaos. Everything's chaos.
It felt real to me. And
genuine,
as somebody from outside that world, that's kind of what I'm going for. And I loved that they imparted the knowledge and the wisdom on them. And it never felt too much. Father Havel is like, when I was young and I was here, I fell in love. I had somebody that I really felt great about. And I like Brian. Well, what happened? Oh, then the Russians invaded Poland and I left. And it sort of comes to that whole idea of, and the other thing he said, and I didn't capture it, but the other thing he said is deciding to be a priest or falling in love are difficult to do because it's a choice that you have to make over and over, constantly. And I really like that because that is when you do decide to be with someone and you form that relationship, whether it is a relationship of faith, whether it's a relationship of romance or even friendship, it's a decision you are making over and over every single time to continue to be that person. Amen. Really like that. Yeah. So
very philosophical rom-com.
It is. Like I said, it's deeper than just your surface level.
It's very deep for a rom-com. So.
It is, but it was a great choice. I have to say, you brought me a movie that when you brought it to me and you said Keeping the Faith, my thought was, I'll probably enjoy this. I enjoy most movies, and as I've gotten older, I tend to find that I enjoy dramas and comedies a lot more than I did when I was younger because I'm I'm more in a place where I can be more thoughtful about the characters. But this one was surprising in how much I did like it. Similar
There's
to
a reason why I burned through the VHS.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't stop watching this.
I'm curious why it's not more talked about in a lot of ways, because it's not
I've heard a lot of the sayings are there though.
Yeah.
I think people like amen to your oi. Maybe it's just me because I use it all the time. But I've heard some of this, like the clips you played. I've heard them either that come out maybe had tips in other movies that Edward Norton's been in.
That could be.
Or I've heard them in the wild. So.
Yeah, I feel like this is one, and it's not streaming anywhere right now, which probably doesn't help it. And maybe that's a music thing, because there is
Tom Waits was there, yeah.
Tom Waits, and also they use Santana, Smooth in there somewhere, and Public Enemy for the basketball scene. So maybe that plays into it. But I would
sucks that happens.
It does.
It really sucks.
I would like this movie to show up on some streaming services, because I think it's a movie that a lot of people can get a lot of things out of. Even someone like me who is not Catholic or Jewish, or very, much of a practicing religion person, I still can connect to the characters.
And the feelings. Yeah, absolutely.
There's universal things going on in there. So if you haven't seen Keeping the Faith, I highly recommend finding it.
You can buy it on YouTube.
Oh, you can? Good.
You can buy it. I saw that today when I was refreshing my memory from a few days ago. I was like, look, you buy it there. I mean, I had the DVD. I just don't have a DVD player to play it, so it's a problem.
It makes it tougher. But yeah, no, it is a movie worth seeing, and I'm glad that you brought that up as the movie we should watch. This was a great choice, Seth. So thank you so much.
I'm glad.
This has been a pleasure to have you on the show.
I'm honored. I'm like with a celebrity here. I mean, because Frog Pants and all that stuff. I'm like Travis. I'm like, wow.
And so thank you for being on the show, because I'm honored to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, let people know kind of what you have going on, maybe something that you want to plug.
I'm all over the place. You can usually find me. There's Philly Codehound somewhere or whatever. But if you go to social.sethgoldstein.me, all my links are there.
Perfect.
And it's overwhelming.
That's how it goes.
I tend to collect things online and stuff like that. But I do a weekly podcast called Entrepreneurs Enigma, about the ups and downs of entrepreneurship with a bunch of people, some unknown people, some people. I've actually had Guy Kawasaki on my show.
Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs Enigma, and you can find that. What was it? It was
entrepreneursenigma.com.
Okay, Entrepreneurs Enigma.
It's the hardest. Entrepreneur is the hardest word to spell.
It really is. It's one of those words that just doesn't sound right.
And there's E's and those. And actually, the hat that I'm wearing, if you're watching the video, in the logo, there was actually an extra R in the logo. And they got the hat embroidered that way. So I had to go with a pin and take out the stitching.
Oh, geez. Well.
So it's a troublesome word for a podcast.
SEO and podcast naming is always tough, because you either you have to stand out, but then it's harder to search for. I get it. But there'll be links to all that in the show notes of this episode, so definitely check that out. And if you like this conversation, I do it weekly, and I stream it live on Twitch, twitch.tv/TV's Travis. You can find it there. You can follow me, TV's Travis, anywhere. I'm tvstravis.com on Blue Sky, TV's Travis on Threads or Mastodon.
mstdn.social on Mastodon.
Yes. mstdn.social is the Mastodon one that I'm on. And or you can just go to tvstravis.com, my website. You can find the links to everything there. I've also got my merch store there with fun merchandise. And my Patreon is there. And the Patreon for this show helps me to do things like my live episodes at Dragon Con that I did this year.
Yeah, that was good.
I'll be at Nerdtacular in 2026.
That's so bad.
So, and the patrons help me to do that or to upgrade gear. And you also get early access to episodes, and you get my first watch diaries, which I am doing Wednesday right now is the series that I have just started. So that's a lot of fun.
You don't sleep.
I don't. I have a problem. I don't sleep.
Watch lots of movies.
Too many movies. But it's a lot of fun. So Seth, thank you so much. We will do this again sometime. You're welcome back anytime.
I'll have you pick the movie and I'll watch it.
Perfect. I will find something. I'm pretty good at finding movies that people haven't seen. So we will do that for sure. But until now, next week, who do I have coming up? I have Jared Concessions is coming on to the show for the first time. And we are going to watch a movie that I have not seen before. A Jean-Claude Van Damme film from the mid-'90s.
It's going to be film stackable, too.
Oh, very. In fact, they may have, but it's going to be the film Sudden Death.
Oh, that's a good one. You haven't seen that one?
I have not. And the thing is, the director of it is Peter Hyams, who directed one of my favorite movies of all time, Running Scared. So,
all right, keep in mind, Van Damme has been very prolific with his kind of cookie cutter action films, but like him and Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
That's one that's like Sudden Death is like the one. So get watching, Travis. Get watching.
What's funny is I've seen a lot of the Van Damme around Sudden Death, and Sudden Death was like the one that I didn't see. So figure that out. But I'm fixing that next week, and I'm going to be watching it. And then as we inch closer and closer to the gore, wait, you haven't seen crossover episodes all of October, which are going to be fun. I got some fun horror movies lined up for that. So definitely check all that out. But next week, Sudden Death, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I believe the elevator pitch I heard for this movie is it's Die Hard in a hockey rink. So we'll see what that's like. But that'll be next time. And until then, just remember to enjoy your movies. And things are weird, but hey, let's be excellent to each other. This has been Wait You Haven't Seen.
But let me tell you, in my experiences, holy shit.
Exactly.
That moment killed me too.